Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling start to Fun Friday. Yes, it's that day of the week where we talk about fun. So what ideas can you come up with to do this weekend? And I'm going to also tie it back and also incorporate into this too our Tell Your Story question of the day. But what were some of your favorite family activities you did when you were growing up? So I want to talk about incorporate this. So what fun things can you come up with to do this weekend? And also incorporate into that, maybe there's some family activities you used to do when you were growing up that you now want to pass on to your own children, your grandchildren, or just you just want to go do them again. And so this list is for I have a list. So I wrote out this list of things I could think of just off the top of my head this morning about things that you could do this weekend. Now, these can be done, some can be done solo, some can be done as a couple, some can be done as a family. So there's a little mix in here for most people. I won't say everyone, I'll just say most, because some will hear these ideas and go, well, that's crap. And I get that because some people's ideas aren't in that area. But maybe we can use these ideas to trigger ideas that you can do this weekend by yourself, with your loved ones, with friends, with family. So are you ready? Here we go. Go to the pumpkin patch. Some of them are getting very elaborate these days. They've got a whole bunch of activities that kids can do when they're there, as well as just picking up pumpkins and all that sort of stuff. But go to the pumpkin patch. You can have it's like a little mini fair there in some places. Staycation, this is one of my favorite ones. But staycations do take a little bit of planning, so maybe you could think about for like next weekend or the following. But a staycation is where you use your home as your hotel. And I like to put a challenge in there with a staycation that the staycation, you can only spend like $10 to $20 per person per day. And that's for gas, parking, entry fees, food. It covers the whole cost. So can you keep it under that? Which forces you then to look at what can we do in the area for free? What do I have an annual pass to that I don't need to pay to get in? So start using your imagination on those. Those can be a lot of fun. Another one is game night. Play out the board games, the cards. That was one of my favorite activities growing up, was we're having game nights. Hiking, going for a hike. Now I know some of these will be, some people will go, but we've got snow on the ground here. Okay, so with this list, we're covering all weather. So wherever you are living, some will apply to you, some won't. It's just to help you trigger ideas. Hiking, going for a hike. What's the hike that you've always wanted to do? Is there a nice easy hike that the whole family can do together? Is there one a little more challenging? But go hiking. A movie marathon. Now, the movie marathon, I'm thinking of like a series. Like I could do a James Bond day, or a trilogy. I could do a Lord of the Rings trilogy day, or a Hobbit trilogy day. I mean, the extended director's cuts of those are like 4 hours a piece. So when you're looking at Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, you're talking 12 hours of viewing time. But maybe a movie marathon. It could be there could be a series like James Bond, a whole series. It could be what's the Avengers, watching them in order, finding a movie marathon, or just say, everybody takes a turn at picking a movie. Everybody pick a movie and we'll draw to see which order it gets done in, or something like that. Volunteer in your community, going for bike rides. Now, bike rides could be pedal bikes, getting out there, exploring the biking trails, mountain biking, that sort of thing. Or it could be even getting on a motorcycle and going and doing some trails and things. County fairs and flea markets. They're always fun to go. I especially like flea markets, because you get a lot of local artisans there with their things that they have made. And some of them are really, really good. But I always like going through flea markets and things and seeing what little interesting pieces I can find. Going on a picnic. Pack a picnic and go. Family story time with photos. With family photos. One of my favorite activities growing up was that my parents would do a slide night. Like we'll say, can we watch some, do some slides? And for those that don't know what slides are, they're little cardboard things with like a negative in the middle of the cardboard, and you put it into a projector and it'll project it up on the wall, and you'd have these still photos on the wall. And I loved slide evenings. And us kids would like go and pick out which packs of slides we wanted to watch, or it could be that mum and dad got some new slides in, because sometimes when you got photos developed, you also had the options of having slides made as well. And then we would sit there, and when we were living in White, we would hang a sheet on the door at the end of the hall, and then us kids would sit on the floor. Mum and dad would sit in chairs. It wasn't a very wide hallway, but they had enough room to sit there in the chairs, and dad would operate the slide projector and taking the pictures in and out, and mum and dad would tell us the stories behind the slides. So it made a really cool, entertaining night. So it's like a still movie. It was a really cool night. I enjoyed those nights, sitting there on the floor with my brothers and watching these slidesgram things of things that, and sometimes it was pictures of us when we were babies. Sometimes it was pictures of vacations we had taken or my parents had taken, and they'll tell us the stories about their vacations. So it was ran the gamut of what was in the slides. It was a really cool evening. I loved those. Barbecue. Have a family barbecue, invite friends over, have your own barbecue. I still have to learn how to cook on a barbecue. Go stargazing at night. Go stargazing. There's a really cool app on the phone. There's a really cool app that I have on my phone, and I gotta remember the name of it. That is called Sky Guide. SKYGUID. And the really cool thing about this app is that when you turn it on, it'll play music, which is supposed to be the music of the stars. I was trying to get it to turn on right now. But the thing is that wherever you point it, I don't know if you can see this very well. Wherever you point the camera, it's showing you what's going on. Like I'm pointing it down towards the ground, so it's showing me what's happening on the other side of the earth at the moment, as to where planets are, where stars are, constellations. If I point it up at the sky right now, Hercules is coming up over the horizon in the east because it's pointing to the east right now. So you can do this. There's Draco. And you can go stargazing or something like this, and you can see different stars, and sometimes planets will come up and things like that. But it's a really cool program to help you learn what the constellations look like. It's a great way to go stargazing. If you don't know where the stars are, it's a really cool way to learn. Explore your family tree. Gosh, you knew that had to be in there somewhere. Who's in your family tree? Talk about people in your family tree with your kids. Do a jigsaw puzzle. Do one together as a family. Do one together as a couple. Do one by yourself. Jigsaw puzzle. Cook a new recipe. You can make a family event out of having a family cookout with everybody pitching in. Or it could just be you or by yourself, or it could be with friends, or it could be with a couple. Visit the library. The library's an awesome place to go visit. Get books, get storybooks out. So you can do story reading and all that sort of stuff. But I love going to the library. Sometimes I'll just go there and I'll just find a quiet place to sit and read or sit and write. And then other times I'll go there and go exploring the books to see what's on the shelves. And, it could be that I need a reference for something. So I'll go to the library and have a look around to see if they can help me with that. And, maybe they do have a reference book there that I can use for whatever it is I'm researching at the time. Go through the stuff in your house, clothes, things, and, make up bags and stuff to take to Goodwill or whatever thrift charity places in your area. This is one of my favorite things, but it has a little thing in there. It's to go fishing. My dad used to take us fishing when we were kids, but I hated dealing with the fish on the end of the hook. I still do. So when I pull in a fish, somebody else, this is why I don't go fishing today. I love the quietness and the peacefulness surrounding fishing. But if I don't have somebody around to take anything off the hook, I don't put a hook on my rod. I don't actually have a rod right now. I'm thinking of getting one so I can just go fishing. just the act of fishing without having to have a hook on and worry about catching anything. If I caught anything, I'd be absolutely surprised. Because I don't like dealing with fish when they're alive. The only thing I like, and so I want somebody, so if I'm going fishing, I have to go with somebody to actually fish. I have to go with somebody that can take the fish off the hook and then scale it and prepare it so that I can then cook it. I'm happy to cook it, but I just don't want to deal with it from it getting on the hook to when I have to cook it. I want somebody to do all of that piece in between. It's just me. I'm weird that way. Visit a museum or art gallery. I mean, there are so many great museums around, and some of them are just little tiny museums, and you go in there and you learn so much about something. There's one place in Whangarei in New Zealand. It's the Clock Museum, and you go in there and there are clocks. I mean, you walk in there and you can hear all these clocks ticking. It's fantastic. They got all sorts of clocks. And there's some labels have history behind them. Some will tell you how old they are. But it was a fantastic display of clocks. And it was like a house, and there was just different rooms just full of clocks. Clocks hanging on the walls, clocks on tables, clocks on shelves, all ticking along and all that. Some were digital, some were the analog clocks, some were very old. Some of them needed to be wound up every now and again. He had cuckoo clocks. There was all sorts of clocks on the wall. It was absolutely fascinating to go in there. And unless you knew it was there, you would get bypassed. So those sort of museums. There's even, where is it in New Zealand? I know it's somewhere in Taranaki. There's an Elvis Presley museum. These people are Elvis Presley fanatics, and so they have a little museum area in their house, and you got to go by appointment, and they will take you through their Elvis Presley collection. So, look around for little places like that, because you get some of the best information or learn the most from those little museums. Yes, the big ones are good to go to. Like, I love going through the Smithsonian museums and things, but sometimes you learn a little more if you go to like a person who is a particular collector on something and they take you on a personal tour. Kind of feels really special as well. Same with art galleries, Go to the beach, go bowling, blow bubbles. That's one of my favorite things to do. Especially teaching the grandkids to blow bubbles was fun. So like, pss, pss, pss. Create your own disco. Go back, put some 70s music on and dance to it or something like that, with your flashy lights, and maybe find a little disco ball somewhere. Test drive cars. Even if you're not even thinking about buying a car, sometimes it's fun just to go test drive some new cars just for the fun of it. But one of my favorite things to do, and I like this one, is to visit model homes. So if you've got a new area where they're building new homes in there and they have the show home open, it's always fun to go for a walk through the show homes. And I used to like doing this because you get great decorating ideas. You got a space. What do I do with it? Well, let's go visit some model homes and find out. And I remember going with friends to one particular house, and we looked at it from the inside, and we went all around. And it was like a U shape. And we get outside, and on the master bedroom side, the roof only goes, the second story roof only goes halfway along. And on the far side, so the two-story place goes all the way down one U, across the bottom of the U, and only halfway up the second part of the U. And so we were talking about, well, hang on that back wall in the bathroom, there was that closet that was there. What if we built that thing, we built that wing all the way out, so it was complete two-story U shape, and then in that linen closet that was there in the bathroom, which is on that back wall, we create a secret door that goes through to like a her room or a his room, or somewhere where you can go and hide and get away from things. It could be like your private office or something like that. So we're coming up with all sorts of ideas that you could use the secret room for on the second story of this building, of this house, because it just looked like it should have a complete second story. The jets are flying. Sorry. But thinking of things like that, looking at things like that, and so we were coming up with this whole thing of what you could use a secret room for, and how to get to it, how you would rig so anybody open up the door, it would look like a regular linen closet, but there'd be a secret catch somewhere that you would flick, and it would move the shelves of the closet would move back into the room, and that was how you would access the room. You could lock yourself away and have your own private area. So it was kind of cool to work on things like that and think about things like that. But just go and visiting model homes, even if you're not looking, and this way you get to see some really great house. Like this house, there was no way that we could afford it at the time, absolutely no way. And but it was always fun to go through to see sort of like, well, what does $1 million get you enough for a new home? To be able to go through things like this. Some people like to do open homes as well. I sort of feel a little creepy looking around somebody's home if I'm not looking at buying it. If I'm looking at buying it, that's okay. But if I'm just going in there just to be nosy, yeah, that I'm not comfortable with that. But model homes, not a problem because nobody lives there. So those are just a few ideas of things that you could do this weekend or start planning for next weekend. What are some ideas that you've come up with? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, we're incorporating things that you use, some of your favorite activities as a kid that you could now, like maybe you could do them again now by yourself or with your family, with a loved one, with friends, you know, and you can incorporate some of the ideas that we talked about, or maybe the ideas we went through triggered something for you. So that's it for me. I got to get out of here. I got to go have breakfast. Somehow I'm missing breakfast in the mornings. I'm not sure why. But I'm going to go have my breakfast and then I have a full day ahead of me. So go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling, fun Friday. Find some fun things to do. Share your ideas in the comments below, or you can private message me. Either way, it doesn't matter. But I'm always curious to see what ideas people come up with. You know, was it last weekend? I think it was. They had the annual balloon festival over there in New Mexico in Albuquerque. I think that was it last weekend or the weekend before? I'm trying to remember when somebody was posting photographs of that. So, you know, look around to see what events are going on in your area or the next town over that you could easily get to, that maybe you could go. Maybe they're having a fair over there. It could be a flea market. It could be, you know, a classic car day, things like that. And so look to see what's an air show, look to see what's going on in your area that you might like to go and have a look at. So go out, have a super fantastic sparkling day, and we'll catch you back here around 6 p.m. Pacific time this evening. Hei konara.